Will you start or should I start?
No, sir, you will start, sir. Just
Okay.
And a warm welcome. Respected and Honorable Secretary Shri Sanjay K. Murthy, respected expert speaker of today, Professor T.P. Singh, our respected director, Professor Manoj Kumar Tiwari, and all our esteemed directors, nodal officers, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of NITI, I, Professor Seema Krishnan, welcome you all to the unique workshop on capacity building today, which is on promotion of PM Gati Shakti Scheme in logistics. The theme is on leveraging satellite communication, and geospatial technology for urban planning and multimodal logistics. So at NITI, we are all indeed privileged to be designated as the nodal hub for the PM Gati capacity building scheme. I would now like to request our director, sir, to kindly introduce and
Manoj, आप
yes, sir.
yeah.
First of all, let me express my profound regards to Honorable Secretary, Ministry of Higher Education, Sri K. Sanjay Moti ji, and today's keynote speaker, Dr. T.P. Singh. And this particular workshop is one of the idea floated by our Honorable Secretary that how to combine and how to link the flagship scheme of the Government of India, PM Gati Shakti, and capacity building in logistics sector. Particularly, this scheme was announced by Prime Minister in the 2021, and it will enhance the infrastructure further of our country. And the PM Gati Shakti initiative, certainly it will lead toward the rapid growth of infrastructure and generating employment, and it will be also be able to optimally utilize our resources. And usually it is found that most of the infrastructure development are our key requirements, and there is a lot of bottlenecks between the different departments which are working in the silo. So how to make a synchronized effort, that is one of the key requirements of the PM Gati Shakti. And as you can see that some of the key goals of our country, which is announced by the different government departments and Prime Minister ji, is that we have to make our economy a 5 trillion economy, and we have to create somewhere around 22 millions of the job opportunity for our countrymen. And we have to capture the major share of the global logistic market. At least by 2026, it should be around somewhere 6.9 trillion. And also we have to have a next generation capacity building for meeting the different requirements of the 5 trillion economy. And logistic cost, which is at present very high, somewhere in the range of 14% to 9% of the GDP. And if it can be reduced to 9%, then somewhere it comes out to be somewhere 4 lakh crore rupees. So merchandise, which is our one of the key target, that need to be exports to be need to around $1 trillion. So keeping this particular thing in mind, if you say simple analysis that shows that what is the share of freight modal transportation in India and corresponding cost. So one can clearly see from this diagram that 60% of the freight is being targeted through the road, and only 32% is through the rail, and 7% is through the water, and around only 1% through the air. And corresponding cost-wise, if you see, then 78% of the cost of logistics goes through the road, and then by 16% by rail, and both air and water around 3% of the thing. So that clearly shows that there is a lot of need to be focused. So according to the PM Gati Shakti scheme, our objective is to link both. That is, what are the things that we need, through the PM Gati Shakti, and how as a academic institutions, which is being governed by the Ministry of Education, how can we link the requirements of PM Gati Shakti with our plannings? So here we can see that one of the very famous policy, which is known as the National Education Policy 2020, that was announced, and it is being considered as leading India to the knowledge hub in the world. So as per this policy, there are several changes that we have to incorporate in our systems, including the flexibility of the subjects, multiple entry, GATE. Then we have a concept of National Research Foundation and many other important features of this policy. And PM Gati Shakti needs the 7 engines of the government like railways, waterways, roads, ports, airports, mass transports, and logistic infrastructure. So as can be seen that there are 6 pillars of the PM Gati Shakti, that is comprehensiveness, prioritization, optimization, synchronization, analytical, and dynamics. These are basically with respect to the harnessing the different resources and synergies of the different sectors. So here we can see the PM Gati Shakti has the 2 main base. One is the infrastructure base, another is knowledge base. So infrastructure base is leading to the major development in logistics sector, particularly road, Bharatmala, Sagarmala, Parvatmala, all such projects. And knowledge base is leading to different kind of subjects that are going to be covered and which can create a lot of expertise among the students as well as professionals. So we can see that one of the famous technologies, geoinformatics, which is being taken care by our one of the institute in Ahmedabad known as BISAG-N, that is Bhaskaracharya Institute of Geospatial Technologies. They are one of the key developer of many of the technologies, and now this need to be integrated with the different aspects of the logistics, and that way Gati Shakti will get a new boost. And similarly, many of the subjects and research areas we have to identify through to enhance our capacity building to the different courses. So we can see that under this there are many subjects, so we can create online, offline, MOOC courses, digital platforms, and they all will add up to the capacity building under this scheme actually. So if you can see that these are the different kind of famous projects which Government of India has launched, like Bharatmala, Sagarmala and Parvatmala, inland waterways, dry land ports, Udan scheme, and another very interesting one is dedicated freight corridor. So these are the different projects, and they all lead to last mile connectivity, environmental friendly developmental process, and this will lead to the faster mode of transportation and economical mode of transportation. So keeping this particular broader goal in mind, how we need a lot of people to be trained and a lot of newer areas to be covered, which are at present being part of the particular department or you can say one particular center. So here we can see that if you want to create the knowledge base, then this can be developed into 3 main sectors like service focus, trade focus, and state of art supply chain. As we have seen in the last 2.5 years, our Honorable Prime Minister has multiple times, around 8 or 9 times, used the word supply chain because this need to be strengthened in order to meet the global standards that we want to achieve in reducing the cost of logistics. So therefore, from many departments which are having the capability to cover many of the things like say, I remember the construction supply chain. Through this, we can minimize a lot of resources which are being wasted. Agri-food supply chain is one of the key requirements to boost our farm economy. Digital supply chain will certainly help minimize the cost of supply chain operations. We have transportation system and network design, multimodal system design, which is going to the mix of the different kind of services like rail, road, shipping, and also we have a air cargo logistic that need to be strengthened to meet the shorter delivery requirements, port management, so shipping and logistics. So these are the different areas that need to be covered for to be treated as subjects, and they need to be covered through different departments synergies actually. So with this, actually, if you can see, our main goal is to create around 75,000 of the professional in the 75 years of our independence, that is Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. And this way, by making the synergy between the different institutions of higher learning, premier institutions like IITs, IIMs, NITs, and CFTIs, and many other institutions which are governed by the AICTE. So this target is not because not big, because we have to attain this in order to support the growth of our economy by producing trained manpower who can take care of the requirements which are being projected at present. So idea is to develop the multidisciplinary courses which can address challenges of the logistics sector, and we have to integrate all these things with the emerging technologies which are being there, like say drone technology. Then we have to have blockchain, IoTs, and many other AI and ML oriented technologies. They need to be clubbed together actually to realize the goals actually. And then all this will result in the reduction in the logistic cost, reduction in the time delays, providing gainful employments, and bringing speed in the movements of the goods and services. And that way, certainly the futuristic logistics policy which are being planned, that will attain the huge success. With this, sir, I just want to complete my address, and now I think we will announce. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thank you, Manojji. Thank you so much. Just as a brief introduction to supplement what Professor Tiwari has mentioned, it just so happened that a week back in a 3-day conference of chief secretaries held in Dharamshala, which was attended by Honorable Prime Minister, there was an opportunity for the Gati Shakti platform to be demonstrated to all the chief secretaries there. And the impact and the scale with which this platform can improve efficiencies was demonstrated by Dr. T.P. Singh there to all the chief secretaries in front of the Prime Minister. And post that presentation, there was also a one-to-one interaction by Prime Minister with all the chief secretaries. And as a concluding remark of the Prime Minister, he had mentioned that based on the feedback that he had received from all the chief secretaries, their realization of the impact that this software, this application, this platform that has been created by BISAG under the leadership of T.P. Singh needs to be leveraged by all state governments to ensure that their efficiencies and their economies go into a higher scale with better efficiencies. Now, while Gati Shakti has been talked about in more of the business infrastructure circles, the need for our academic institutions to also realize the importance and also embed it in their academic programs is need of the hour. Because having such type of a large scale reform with greater efficiencies happening without the academic institutions might not be the ideal situation. So there the Honorable Prime Minister did mention, he had requested all these chief secretaries to ensure that they work with the academic institutions in their states to leverage the academic institutions to see how they can improve and support the state governments in all the initiatives that the Government of India is doing. And this is one of those ones that we hope that the academic institutions will come forward to imbibe or inculcate in their academic curriculum and to define what is the efficiencies that this program can generate. Having said that, a lot of work has happened. Professor Tiwari, AICT, Professor Punya has, I think, worked on model curriculums. These model curriculums have been kept forward for you to consider to see how it can be further refined, developed, increased, enhanced, and then launched in your respective institutions. But having said that, today's key point is to ensure that you witness for yourself the impact and the scale of the platform that has been created by BISAG-N. And without taking further time, I will request T.P. Singh Saab to kindly share the presentation. There in the Chief Secretary's conference, he didn't have that much time, but today I am sure he will give a more detailed presentation for the benefit of our academicians. T.P. Singh, sir.
Sir, namaste, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Should I speak in Hindi or English?
आपको जो anything is fine.
Everything fine. मैं आज दो चीजें बताना चाहता हूं कि ये जो प्लेटफॉर्म आया है इसके पीछे सोच क्या थी। जब सर सेक्रेटरी respected secretary was the in charge of in Ministry of DPIIT, उस समय पर हम लोगों ने इसके बारे में ये सोचा कि किस तरह से कनेक्टिविटी को कम समय में बनाया जाए, उसके लिए इसकी प्लानिंग में क्या क्या चीज इंट्रोड्यूस की जाए कि ताकि समय, एफर्ट्स और कॉस्ट तीनों कम हो जाए और प्लानिंग अच्छी हो जाए। यहां से शुरुआत हुई कि ये प्लेटफॉर्म को किस तरह से बनाया जाए। इसमें 3-4 कंपोनेंट हैं। देयर वाज वन कंपोनेंट वेयर द टेक्नोलॉजीज वर टू बी डेवलप्ड. Idea was that this platform will work only on Indian developed technologies. So no technology is to be procured, including operating system. Second thing was that all aspect of planning should be covered through this platform. And the gaps and new infrastructures where it should come through a parameter and model, it should come out very clearly that these are the areas which we want to connect. Once connectivity is done fast and once connectivity is done as per its requirement, I think as Professor Saab has said, we may reach to the requirement of logistics, reducing the cost of logistics. I have arranged this presentation in such a way that both what is being done and what is for the academic institutes, they should develop for enhancement of technology and processes. So both things will come simultaneously. I start my presentation with the permission of respective secretary. So
Please, sir, carry on.
So
You said it now.
say these are what sir has said. Next. So now, what were the problems when before this Gati Shakti, and what was thought of? Any DPR or planning detailed project report is prepared by any infrastructure agency. They do not have the databases, and whatsoever data they get, it is not confirmed that this is the final data set. It is also not confirmed that this is updated. Standards are different, dates are different. And now how to integrate different data set, that was the first problem, should be solved through this platform. Second thing was that whether the faceless software can be developed which can provide faceless NOCs, which is coming in large number of days, that it can be done without any delay. Another thing was that one infrastructure is being developed, how it is connected to another infrastructure. For example, we take one hydel project is being developed somewhere in Himachal Pradesh. Now supplies has to be maintained to complete in a time. Now in planning, if that road which will keep the supplies going and some other agencies building that road, you change the just prioritization, that instead of starting from somewhere, you complete this status. Now, if this segment is completed, then it is both the infrastructure road which is being developed by some organization is being used from the day one, and at the same time the cost escalation of that hydel project would have been reduced. That way the synchronization is very important aspect, and how it has been integrated in this platform I will explain. Then resource mobilization. For example, if one road is to be constructed, it is going through a black cotton soil. That first soil has to be removed and then soil has to come. that where this soil will go and from where that soil will come. That very simple thing. There are projects where large number of requirement of boulders in sea, when that port or some other infrastructures, similar maybe of defense, that there is a requirement of large number of boulders. So once this project planning is done, same time the Ministry of Mining is also told that this type of boulders will be required, that you identified the blocks nearby this one, whatsoever can be the nearest, with the better connectivity, so the supply is maintained. Just because of supply of the boulders, the infrastructure should not get delayed. So now the synchronization is not among the infrastructure. Synchronization is where from the supplies will come for those infrastructure. Then multi-purpose single source technology. Now what is happening, that suppose you go to geospatial technology, you need also space technology. You also need something like mobile applications. You also need certain mathematical tools that through technology. So now if these technologies are spread over different places, usually the infrastructure development organization do not have the capability to integrating the applications of these technologies, and that also results into delays. And there are certain technologies used in environmental impact assessment. It also takes time. If time is there, I will come and explain what type of courses can be developed for this type of problem, where the environmental impact assessment can be done quickly and in better way than whatsoever is being done right now. So I will give you one example. You see there is a dam constructed, water is not stored. Problem, if the water is stored, it goes to the some wildlife sanctuary, which is not allowed. If during the planning period, if this exercise would have been done, that once the dam is filled, where the water will go, that at that time itself either place would have been different or the height would have been different. So what the technology can do? So now let us see how geospatial and space technology put together, how for whole India that type of thing has been done. So that using ISRO Cartosat satellite, we have developed the 3D model, and through GIS, all the layers and how these layers will go over each other. So now every height, whether road will get submerged, or whether the village will get submerged, or whether where forest will go, or whether some wildlife sanctuary will come. So before going for the final project execution, that at this height, what type of situation is likely to happen. This can happen from a very small dam. It can be happen for a very big dam. It will help both environmental clearance, and it will also help in deciding that where the site of dam should be selected and what should be the height at which the minimum level of damages or minimum level of regulations will impact its construction. Same way, now if you see, this is I'm showing a government of Gujarat constructed one go down. Later on, the high tension wire came. They had to demolish one part of it. It is luckily that it was at the corner. It would have come some few meters into the center for the whole this go down would have been demolished. Now what happens? That there are certain infrastructure, they get approved, they have backing of the acts, rules and regulation, that no one can stop them. That suppose this approved line would have been available to the all the people. Now this was government, okay. Now you see that suppose someone have constructed his or her own house, or someone has constructed some big infrastructure related to industry. So now this is a requirement, all those infrastructure which can impact the existence of another infrastructure should be known up to the public well in advance. Now someone will say that this is an infrastructure which has a security problem. They will not provide this data. So what has been done in this platform, that similar platform will exist with that ministry or that agency, and say similar platform will be available to the private. They will say, we are here. Two questions will be asked, that are you here? Question, the message will go to that server, and message will come, either they are there or they are not there. If they are not there, and it will be considered as a authentic information, for that the information has to be latest on their platform. And if there, then immediately it will come that where from the permission or approvals are to be taken. This way, for every type of regulations, now methods and softwares are being developed. This is not a single time when you can develop these softwares. It is the continuous process that this type of technologies and knowledge base have to be developed continuously and improved over a time. So whatsoever has been developed as per the available technology. Tomorrow, the engineering institutes will come out with the better technologies, better algorithms. So now this will be an area where better and better softwares could be developed, and they will get on going this thing integrated into the system.
टीपी सिंह साहब, आपका आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
आवाज नहीं आ रही?
हमें आ रही है
मनोज जी, कैन यू चेक?
हमें साफ आ रही है सर, हमें साफ आ रही है यहाँ पे.
ठीक है.
अच्छा, आ रही है. ओके.
हाँ सर, आ रही है, आ रही है.
के एंड पे कुछ इशू है सर, इसका मतलब?
नहीं, हो गया सर.
कंट्रोलर शुड कीप दिस थिंग्स, दिस थिंग. सर पहले से नहीं आई थी कि अभी नहीं आ रही थी?
अभी सर
अभी 2 मिनट पहले नहीं आ रही थी, अब आ रही है.
अच्छा, इसके लिए एक सिस्टम बनाया गया है जो मूर्ति साहब के टाइम पे डिस्कस होके बना था. थोड़ा बहुत इम्प्रूव शायद हो गया होगा. ये इसके लिए ओवरऑल गाइडेंस DPIIT की है, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड इंडस्ट्री की, और MIT के साथ में और दूसरे स्टेक होल्डर के साथ में बनाया गया है. MIT ने अभी तक जो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड IT है, पूरा सपोर्ट किया है कि भाई आप अपनी टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलप कीजिए. और हमारे यहाँ पर जो इंजीनियरिंग के स्टूडेंट्स हैं, एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं, जो PhD हैं, M.Tech हैं, B.Tech हैं, उन्होंने टेक्नोलॉजी बनाई है. जो हमारे कोलैबोरेटर हैं, वो ऑल आर आवर ओनर्स. Under their guidance, these system applications are developed. So there is a technology part which has been developed under the overall guidance of MIT. There is a application part which is being developed under the overall guidance of each and every infrastructure agency. They provide the definition, they give the domain inputs, data validation is done by them, and applications are developed as per those definitions. And now this is getting now institutionalized. Now most of the central ministries and states, at least everyone has got some applications which are being run now on Gati Shakti. What BISAG-N is doing, that first they develop the database for the individual infrastructure development agencies, develop the proof of concept, develop the capacity. Both they trained us in domain knowledge, and we provide them the way think cloud to all the agencies. So all these platforms, what has been done? There is a separate platform for each agency. Reason is they have to update, they have to certify that this data is authenticated. That's why all the platform in hundreds are being developed for their respective agencies, and through a technology these are further integrated to a single place where each and every can utilize the other data set, but they cannot distribute other than their data sets to any agency. So that type of rules and this thing has been made. Now the engineering institute like yours can now study it, that how this whatsoever platform has been developed, how its robustness, efficiency and securities can be improved, and also the way the thinking has gone to in development of this platform, how that also can be improved. So this is a lot of scope for the engineering institute to come together. So what has been done? Very simple. Multi-sector databases. During Corona period, sir, we were able to develop certain 250 layers, and we are proud of those layers that we have done a lot. Now when the state government and ministries are coming, within no time we will be reaching 1,000. We have already crossed 900. So every agency, every department is coming and enriching these data sets. We also have developed certain softwares to integrate the processes with data. Processes means you have to take NOCs, you have to take approvals, you have to move the file from one hierarchy to another hierarchy. Now the total processes have been developed along with this platform, so they work in tandem with the platform, and rather than this has become the part of the platform, and the technologies are being used. Now I will show that how this standardization has been done. The map, anywhere if we say that this is the lat long of this place, that is decided by Survey of India. So very first standardization of the map, what should be the basic map, has been taken from the Survey of India. There at present maps are available on 1:50,000. So the standardization has been done up to that level, and rest the extension of this thing 1:5,000 has been done by the BISAG team using their framework. And whenever the Survey of India will come to their higher scale map, our map will be replaced. Databases nomenclature is being decided by Bureau of Indian Standards, which we are now replacing. The database authentication, foundation data is being authenticated by Survey of India, and thematic data is being certified by different ministries and departments. Satellite image standards has been taken as ISRO, and technology open source, which is decided by the Ministry of Electronics, is this thing. All the whatsoever government of India, different ministries have decided, the same thing we have taken, rather than that later on the things are to be changed. All standards available with government of India has been incorporated in the. Now I will give you something about the database. This is one area where a lot of engineering is required. Lot of engineering is required, and also machine learning and artificial intelligence is very much integral to this one, that whatsoever is being done today through manual processes, that can be replaced by machine learning and artificial intelligence if proper softwares are developed. So it is a multi-sector database. Now whether you see city, that what you are seeing is here, this is within a city, the city survey number, and what you are seeing is over the satellite that individual field of the farmer. Same way that individual houses and assets are also being made. So these are standardized. They are 2D, 3D. 2D means map, 3D means height, 4D means time, and now 5D, that what for this data, what for this infrastructure is required, that is also been made. And now what has been done that on this portal, high resolution satellite images have been provided where individual level, individual asset can be mapped without any problem by a simple mobile technology that I will explain. Why this is not coming? So this type of databases are coming. Now what I was telling, that if you take any mobile application, there are errors included in this one, 10 meter, 20 meter, 5 meter, and even we take with DGPS, even then errors are there. What we did? We developed a mobile application which is having in background the satellite image. Now you go to any place, want to map that asset. In this case, it is a electric pole. Now you find that the system, the location has been provided other than where you are seeing. So you are seeing this pole is near to this building. Tool has been provided that you can replace that point to that point. Now you can see in the field, individual pole has been mapped, and you can see that this is the where that you can see that there is a separate signature for that place in the field. The error is reduced. Now the application is being developed that suppose a person wants to have a permission to electric, this thing gives the field survey number, applies online, automatically the energy department measures that how much is the distance, there is no river, there is no hill, then they calculate that how many poles are to be put, so that much estimate is made. So now there is no need to go to field, saving time, efforts, and cost. So this way, each and everywhere, this concept is being implemented. Now let us see which are the technologies. Geospatial technologies are being used. Information technologies, ERP, web, all those technology, whatsoever you think are being used. ERP, whatsoever we plan is go to their system where there are ERP and the machine learning platform. It read all the ODI numbers, translated into the just by the lookup table into the English. This way, by a simple mean, because a problem came that we cannot read the ODI number, and because of that, our work which was used to take 4 or 5 hours and now is being done in 10 minutes. So every new knowledge is being integrated. So for the engineering, this thing, for the institute like yours, it is a requirement to continuously discussing among ourselves. We provide the problems and you develop the knowledge and it gets integrated into the Gati Shakti platform. If this become the continuous continuous process, that day in and day out, the efficiency and of this platform will go increasing day by day. We are as mobile labs, GPS, image processing, there is a lot of scope in image processing. That artificial intelligence and image processing put together can provide the images or drone images or the other images in mapping of the assets. At present, most of these things are being done manually. Suppose this type of model will become very easy, and the delay, that because of this mapping, the delay is taking place, that gap will get reduced. So everywhere the gap will get reduced. So now you can think that how these technologies can be developed. Spatial computing is a new area, and this requires a lot of knowledge development. As soon as this now at present, how the spatial computing is done. So now you see in geology, they bore holes and see that where mineral composition are there. So these are very distant. Now you develop a spatial computing system that it develops a surface, and through that surface you say that actually this is the approximation how mineral is below that side. Now this is the technology which requires a lot of improvements. So I have given that list of the technology. I have given the areas where we can work together. Now if you see these regulations, every regulation have separate parameters in few tens and separate. For example, I say that if you want to do the mining, this can be this much away from the bridge, this much away from NH, this much away from the railway, this much away from hospital, this much away from this thing, this much away from the river. All sort of this thing is there. If the proper technologies are for each and everything is developed, then go area and no go area will come very clearly, and people will do something somewhere, and once you go for the regulation and you say that you cannot do over there, because of this it cannot be allowed. And there is another thing, once you allow the mining, what happens, this is a very simple case. You can, if you have good maps, you can do. That mining, now rivers you cannot have habitation nearby. So there is a lot of now how this one once you complete one regulation and start doing something, that itself creates a regulation. Now this is a type of systems development. That lot of knowledge is required to be developed in this area, because at present what we are doing, there is a one regulation, apply that regulation, give permission or not to give permission with the conditions. But how that new infrastructure or new asset is also creating a regulation. Now what is a platform? This is a holistic approach. This was developed with the under the guidance of respected Secretary Sir when he was with DPIIT, that it should give the visualization, it should get planning tool, that how the site suitability can be done. So you have parameters, you have criteria, so how the suitability is come out. So this type of softwares are being developed, our infrastructure alignment softwares are being developed. Now this are being developed is piece by piece. Now if some proper different type of terrain, different type of infrastructure, if models are also developed with respect to regulations also, then you will find that this knowledge will further enhance the implementation, the speed of implementation of Gati Shakti planning. Like that earlier you also have said the same things. So now this is a web-based geospatial system-based system. Navigation is as per hierarchy, and no, as I said, that platform to platform, that no platforms are separate through API or web map services or WFS. The all data is moving from here to here, and this is being utilized for planning. So now what if you see, this is a 3D model along with satellite image. Now this has been created for the whole country. Now when the alignment is done, that is another aspect, that how much compensation is to be given. So high resolution satellite is been provided, that whether some habitation is there, or some trees are there. So the compensation is for land and all the assets available over there. So later on, this should not become a problem. And also that estimation should be proper. These type of things are going. Now I will give you one example of the infrastructure development. Now government wanted that one road of 300 kilometer in Gujarat has to be planned. They said that as far as possible, forests should be avoided, sanctuaries should be avoided, eco-sensitive zones should be avoided, CRZ, coastal regulation zone, particularly 1A should be avoided, mining should be avoided, wetlands should be avoided, or few things were there, so it should be clearly this thing. So they started, and they also said that it should link the national highway, railway, airports, ports, tourist places, and industries. So they said that something has to be excluded and something has to be included. So they started doing, so they got district boundary, taluka, and then they got all the roads mapped. Then what they said, that now it is coming directly from the platform. Now it is the PPT, but it is the actual from the platform. Every data is compatible. So they got railway line, they got the river and water bodies, they got the sanctuaries, forest area, they got mining, they got the CRZ boundary and CRZ this thing, and they got start to end. Then they said that now you plan that where it should go. So it came like this. Now another thing comes, so earlier was the draft alignment, and now this has become the length has reduced, connectivity has improved, and less regulations will be applied on this alignment. And now the tender is going for this alignment. So now you see time is saved. 5-6 महीने का काम था, 6-7 दिन में हो गया. लेंथ ज्यादा थी, छोटी हो गई. ज्यादा रेगुलेशन के अप्रूवल लेने थे, कम लेने पड़ेंगे. सारी चीजें जुड़ गई. अब आप देखिए इसी में से क्या निकलता है. ये कैनाल को कहाँ क्रॉस कर रही है, इसका आपको एनओसी लेना पड़ेगा. रिवर को कहाँ क्रॉस कर रही है, एनओसी लेना पड़ेगा. रेलवे को कहाँ क्रॉस कर रही है, एनओसी लेना पड़ेगा. इंडस्ट्री पार्क पास से जा रही है तो डिस्टेंस का लेना पड़ेगा. तो इस तरह से करके ये अलाइनमेंट हो गया. इसके साथ में आपके जहां जहां से रेगुलेशन है वो हो गए. इसके पीछे सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप्ड है, यहीं पर आप करेंगे तो वो फॉर्म खुल जाएगा कि कहां पर वो सीधा उसके पास चला जाएगा, एंड थ्रू इलेक्ट्रॉनिक प्रोसेस वो जो है परमिशन आपकी आ जाएगी. और इसको अब इसके लैंड एक्विजिशन किस खेत में से होकर के जाएगा, तो इसके बाद में जिस खेत में से, तो इसका ही टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलप की गई कि एक्विजिशन भी फेसलेस हो जाए. तो सीधे के सीधे जिस सर्वे नंबर से जा रहा है वो किसका है, वो प्राइवेट है, वो गवर्नमेंट है, वो फॉरेस्ट का है, वो कॉमन प्रॉपर्टी है. क्योंकि चारों तरह के अलग अलग इनके एक्वायर करने के भी प्रोसेस और रूल अलग अलग हैं. उसके चारों के अलग अलग तरह के सॉफ्टवेयर बनाए गए हैं और ऑटोमेटिकली ये चीज हो जाती है. और इसी में से ये भी निकल आता है उसके आधार पर कि वहां का सर्कल रेट क्या है, कि इसका कंपेंसेशन कितना देना पड़ेगा. यहां तक का ऑटोमेशन हो गया है. और जो मैंने बताया एनओसी के लिए, वो अपना इस तरह का परफॉर्मा भर देगा. क्या होगा उस परफॉर्मा से, ये आ जाएगा कि भाई मेरी ये लाइन है, कहीं यहाँ फॉरेस्ट आता है तो आप एनओसी दे दीजिए. तो सीधे ये प्लेटफॉर्म ये भी कंपेटेबल है उसके, क्योंकि उसको जिस प्लेटफॉर्म पे ये लाइन डालनी है वो उसके फॉरेस्ट से कंपेटेबल प्लेटफॉर्म है. फॉरेस्ट वाले के पास गया, फॉरेस्ट के ऊपर सुपर इम्पोज हुआ और उससे उसका डाटाबेस क्रिएट हो गया और उसका डैशबोर्ड भी बन गया कि कितनी एप्लीकेशन आई थी, कौन सी अप्रूव हो गई, कोई भी इसको देख सकता है. इस तरह से करके चाहे तो आपका प्लानिंग का पार्ट हो और चाहे आपका ये एनओसीज का पार्ट हो, ये सब में ऑटोमेशन आ गया है. टेक्नोलॉजीज डेवलप की गई हैं, इनको इम्प्रूव करने की आवश्यकता है. ये टेक्नोलॉजीज पहली बार में डेवलप हुई हैं, पहली बार में यूज हो रही हैं, चल रही हैं, लेकिन इनकी इफिशिएंसी इंप्रूव करने का काफी कुछ स्कोप बाकी है, जो आप जैसे इंस्टीट्यूट जो हैं, इसको हमारे साथ, हमारे पास डेफिनेशन है, आपके पास नॉलेज है, दोनों मिलकर के ये नॉलेज का अगर इम्प्रूवमेंट हो जाए तो गति शक्ति में इसका बहुत बड़ा योगदान हो सकता है। नेक्स्ट, for example, now you see that for whole India, suppose you put like this canal is to be made that wheresoever permissions are required, that automatically the system will give, or the platform itself will come for the whole India. Now you see, earlier, if you go on field, you don't know whether it belongs to forest or not, whether it belongs to common property land, whether it belongs to private land, or it belongs to government land, or whether this type of NOCs are required, this type of NOCs are not required. So all these things have been integrated into the system. Now you see, now once DPR is to be made, now this is a road. So with a height above MSL, the profile is being created. That I have shown the linear profile, but it is a aerial profile, and this is where the spatial computing is required. Is better spatial computation is there, that the estimation will be better. So at present we are doing with certain resolution, because we have both limitations, that we cannot develop this software better than this. And also there is a limitation, if we take more and more data, then we require a lot of hard work manually to develop the 3D. So now what has been done? So now you know where the cutting and filling has to be done, where that filling has to be done, how much cutting is to be done, how much filling is to be done. Yani total DPRs can be made based on this one. So like this, suppose your transmission line is coming, you want to develop, you want a infrastructure for 8-lane road. Now you see that now one pole has come. Now it has to, how it is to be shifted. Now there is can be through a technology with geospatial technology, it can anticipate before this planning that this pole will come over here or not. So that there is a lot of scope of artificial intelligence, and with geospatial technology and artificial intelligence and the accurate data can develop the multiple models which can provide in advance that this type of thing is going to happen. Now what we are doing, if this has happened like this, how to resolve it? If the geospatial technology, good data set, and artificial intelligence, these all things put together, this will predict well in advance that, and so one can decide whether that shifting has to take place or whether proper that planning has to be separate. So that type of model can be developed, and this is the thing. So now I think that this type of things, now we are developing certain things which are for the this urban sector. What is there? That there are lot of underground this pipeline, sewerage line, storm line, internet, gas, all these things. Now no one knows where are those. So we have developed a simple thing for the sewerage line and water supply line for a municipality. Just for that, they have all the map hand drawn, that from the center of road, how much distance and how much depth at that point of time they had put this this infrastructure. Now what we developed a tool that you automatically it gives the center of the road. It measures the center of road, and then a table will open. So you want the distance, so you click the distance. From drop down, you say that this is the distance and this is the thing. So now every type of that type of mapping is taking place, and now you see one municipality, which was a big problem for this every municipality. One municipality has mapped their assets. Now we have created 162 platform for government of Gujarat. Same way, we are creating 700 platform for government of Uttar Pradesh. Tomorrow, I am going to Ministry of Urban Development to demonstrate this. Maybe for the whole country, this type of platform will be developed. Again, there is a requirement of technology. Most of the places, this require artificial intelligence. Most of the places, which at present we are not able to integrate into this one. So when we discuss, so I think I have taken enough time. So should I conclude, sir, at this place, and I will spend more time on the question answers.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. You have given a very broader view of the technologies that you have built up. And
नहीं, thank you TP Singh sab, fantastic presentation, and I really heartening to know that now you have come to 900 layers already in such a
Yes, sir.
short time. I mean, really commendable. I just to supplement what Mr. TP Singh said, that I think this opens up a lot of opportunities for our students to work on live platforms, to demonstrate, to do any modeling, to see how efficiencies in logistics can be done, or do case studies if this infrastructure was planned, how it should not have been planned, what could have been done. I think this gives us just to tell you, now the government of India has made this mandate that any infrastructure project valued over 300 crores or 500 crores, I think it is in that range, needs to go through this model. It needs to go through this application to see that what the department is saying is true or not. So it goes through one screening process. There, it is run through this platform. All the group of 6-7 infrastructure ministries validate this data, and then only it goes to the CCA or the SFC for approval. So I think there is a lot of knowledge that is coming out from this platform which can be used effectively. And this is our interest, that the academicians here who are present today could kindly work with BISAG to ensure that we are giving this course curriculum to our students, as well as give them live projects for them to work on, to ensure that we enrich this platform much better. With these words, I will request some of the directors to kindly open the house for questions, and I think Professor Tiwari, I think you can conduct it, please.
so I request Professor Subhashish Chaudhary to say a few words about PM Gati Shakti, as well as what he feels from presentation of Dr. TP Singh. So Professor Subhashish ji.
No, okay, Tiwari ji, I think it's a very interesting thing, but of course, Professor Singh also has mentioned some of the issues that we need to take care, because the right of way and others. So I think, see, one is like a planning the whole thing. Of course, we'll, as Sanjay ji has mentioned, that it is coming from different ministry, but one of the thing which could end up being a bottleneck, and that we need to look at upfront, because you have all the plans, but if our right of way is not sorted out upfront, sometimes it gets stuck into that process, right? So my request would be to see that if we can because see, you have presented a map. We know that which way we are actually moving ahead. So if we can actually get that thing at an earlier stage and get the approval before even moving the others one, maybe what happened, we can basically, we are suggesting is a parallel processing, so that actually we get things done at the right time. Otherwise, that could be one of the delaying thing. So I think maybe if you can just elaborate on that, if it is possible, then I think I would appreciate that.
It is at right time. Any project, whenever it is conceptualized, the DPR is being done on that. It is not that parallel they are doing separately and this is doing. Now you will surprise that all the railway projects, which are in hundreds, the timetable has been made where those people are coming, sitting, the 30 engineers are working with them, and now they are also going to place the permanent team over there. So all these, so every sector, the planning is being done through this platform. It is not that planning has been done and it is mapped. It is not a mapping. Mapping is a input. Planning is the outcome.
No, I agree. So all just wanted to say, because we have seen, like, Mumbai, like our outside IIT, we had this railway crossing, and that was actually took a long time. So Of course, things have been moving much faster than there. So, we had to wait for a long time. So if this can be done, I mean, this is to be part of the plan. That's all I'm suggesting.
हमारे देश के अंदर एक चीज बहुत कॉमन है, जितनी खराब चीज देखी होती हैं वो हमें सब याद रहती हैं, कुछ अच्छी हो गई होती है तो किसी को याद नहीं रहती है। तो कई बार बहुत चीजें अच्छी भी हो रही हैं। अभी मैंने जो आपका रोड का वो दिया था, इसमें कुछ 100 करोड़ रुपए बचने वाले हैं और कुछ महीने नहीं सालों बचने वाले हैं। तो ये ऐसी चीज नहीं है कि हमारे यहाँ कुछ हो नहीं रहा है। आज NHAI और मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रोड एंड ट्रांसपोर्ट अपना 100% प्लानिंग इस प्लेटफॉर्म से कर रही है। यहाँ तक कि है कि मटेरियल कहाँ से आएगा, तो दे आर गेटिंग मैप द ऑल स्टील प्लांट्स, all the coal this thing, where are the assets, all cement fellows are mapping where gypsum is coming. Now what are the connectivity? Railway is seeing that which are the ports up to now not connected by rail, and all this assessment has been made. And now why to bring the coal by the train, why not to bring by the waterways where the cost of transportation is less. So now all these things are being mapped. So now how the coal mine will get connected to this thing, even that alignments are going on, that how the proper alignment. Now you see, now when the road are being planned and it is going through black cotton soil, now Indian Council of Agriculture Research is providing the data, how much is the depth of black cotton soil. So now it is only half meter. So how this calculation for in DPR for 1.5 meters should be done? Now you see, Amrit Sarovar is being constructed. Now all these CPW projects are being linked, that if the proper soil is there, that will come over here. Not only the planning, even the material utilization is linked to this platform.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah.
No, just one thing. I think you've raised an important point, but I will tell you what this platform or this initiative has done. NHAI now, as a mandate, is using common utility corridors in their expressways. This has enforced that should be done, right? So that problem of seeking a parallel permission for running utilities across the expressway is built into the project. Right of way for an optical fiber project, there is a concept of deemed approval which the central government DOT has approved. Out of 30 states, I think 15 states have already signed up to it, and I'm sure all the states will go forward to getting that right of way done as part of an approval process. So what is happening is that you are breaking silos between departments to work together to see that you are able to execute a project in the least amount of time with least amount of disruptions. I think that's the spirit behind all of this, and I think it's a landmine of information for students to experiment on and do whatever research they can to improve efficiencies in that entire process. I mean, listen.
Thank you, sir. And I have Professor S.G. Deshmukh from IIT Delhi, and I request him to say a few words, and also if any question is there from Dr. T.P. Singh, he can raise it. Professor Deshmukh, please.
Yeah. And thank you, Professor Tiwari. And at the outset, I must thank Ministry and a special thanks to NITI for taking this initiative. This is a very, very interesting project. And as Singh Saab has mentioned, there are plenty of opportunities available. There is a huge data set available, where, as Murthy Saab has mentioned, this is a golden opportunity for all of us to contribute, to develop case studies, to take the development technology to next level and join the process of development. And this is very interesting. The byline of this Gati Shakti is Pragati Ki Gati or Bharat Ki Shakti. I think this is also a unique platform where we can showcase our talent, we can showcase our knowledge base, and everybody could be part of the big development process. I must compliment the ministry for taking this bold step. And Singh Saab, your presentation was very good. And I think definitely we are going to utilize this And especially it is going to cut down the delays like anything. N number of clearances are going to be at one level, and the efficiency of planning process is going to be tremendously improved. Professor Tiwari will agree with me. In NITI, there are basically two concerns. One is about the efficiency, second is about the effectiveness. And I think by having this kind of a mega platform, we are trying to address each one of them, trying to improve the efficiency as well as trying to enhance our effectiveness so that our logistic competitiveness is also enhanced like anything. So this will also put us on the global platform and our competitiveness can be improved. In a typical technical institute like IITs, see Secretary Saab, you have mentioned about different type of silos. So these silos are also existing, unfortunately, in our academic setting. That there is a department of computer science, there is a department of mechanical engineering, there is a department of management, and so on. But I think with this platform, this is also an opportunity for us to come out of these silos, look at the problem holistically. So processing, I like that slide where you have mentioned the holistic. I think holistic is what is required. Technology is tested, but now the time has come to apply this technology for the upliftment and improving the quality of life. And in the process, we are also trying to reduce the cost of logistics. I think we'll be all there to develop the resource material. And as Murthy Saab has mentioned, this will be also a golden opportunity for developing proper data set where doctoral work can be taken up. And this doctoral work will basically advance our state of knowledge in that particular area. From our side, IIT Delhi side, will be more than happy to contribute to this. Thank you very much, sir, for giving this opportunity. And this is really a very, very interesting project. And it is coming at the right time when we are celebrating our 75 years of independence. I think that fact also has to be properly taken into account. Thank you very much, sir.
Now, I request IM Director of Nagpur, Dr. Bhimraya Maitri, to say a few words because he is also having a lot of things to say in this context.
Thank you very much, Professor Tiwari, Honorable Secretary Sanjay Murthy ji, TP Singh Saab, Professor Tiwari, and all my distinguished colleagues. I think I fully agree with Professor Deshmukh. This initiative, I think the platform, what TP Singh Saab presented, I think it is being a student of civil engineering and project management has been my passion and my work, and I built IIM Trichy and now IIM Nagpur inaugurated very recently. The kind of difficulties we face, and I think the best example, black cotton soil, we are located in black cotton soil in Nagpur, sir, Mian area, and road construction, what was not taken into account, how it is adding the cost, I can imagine. I think this platform really bring the new era for the project management and logistics in the country. And today, our logistic cost, it is about 15 to 16%. And if you reduce 1% of the logistic cost, it will save thousands of crores of rupees to the government of India. And that is the importance of logistics. And thanks to our Honorable Secretary, always, under his dynamic leadership, this PM Gati Shakti, and very happy to know that Manoj ji, it is a nodal and we are all part of it. And I'm sure this will open up the new era and bring the, I think already infrastructure, we have made a tremendous accomplishment last maybe 6-7 years. I think per day the progress of even road construction about 45 kilometers is a commendable one, and I am sure this the platform TP Singh Saab, what he presented, that is again going to make a big change in productivity as well as enhancing the quality, and also number of the agencies and all those issues we were having approval, permission, those things again get modified, and the new regulation, new era will start. And definitely this PM Gati Shakti and this team, I think what our Sanjay Saab is, envisaging, definitely this is going to be a big boost to build a new India. So I must say this much. So thank you very much. Thanks for giving me opportunity. Namaste.
So now I request Director IIM Jammu, Professor Sahaji, to have some questions and some suggestions on this count and comments also on the presentation that we have actually. Professor Sahaj?
Yeah, good morning. And first of all, I must congratulate everybody present here, particularly when all academia is there, government is there, and experts are there. What is important is that supply chain or logistics is nothing new. It is being taught for a number of years. But we must compliment our Honorable Prime Minister, who took the initiative, and now everybody is sitting together and talking for the national cause and national problem. I remember that when I was director of IIM Raipur, that time some letter came that, okay, how IIM can contribute in the national growth and development. But that was only on paper. Now it has come in on reality. So I feel is that when we talk of this logistics cost, I was just asking that what is the current GDP? It is 135 lakh crore. And 14% of that, it comes out to be around 19 lakh crore. And just imagine that if we are able to reduce 1% of that, this 14% logistics cost, we used to talk 20 years back also, 25 years back also, and today also we are talking the same thing. That precisely means in the last 25 years, there are no concerted focus on logistics and supply chain. Otherwise, when we are talking that time 14%, today also we are talking of 14%. So I think that it's a very good move. And what Professor Dr. T.P. Singh was giving the model, it's a great opportunity. Now, when we talk of, we must talk of in concrete terms. And because Secretary is here, so probably we can request him that, let's say how our, like say this, in the beginning, it was told that Professor Tiwari and Professor Punia, they have revised this curriculum of supply chain and logistics. I would like to mention here that when we are trying to revise, please see to it that all these things what we are discussing here is part of the curriculum. Unless it is part of the curriculum, nothing can move. Let me tell you, it will be only theory discussing in the classroom, looks very nice to talk, but we have to talk in reality and it must be implemented. Number two, when we talk of research, what exactly we are going to do? All PhD scholars and research projects should be, it should not happen that, okay, every institute is doing the same thing, repeating the same thing, because logistics and supply chain is a very vast area. So probably each institution can focus on individual or particular area. That will be really useful. So I think that I must say this thing that it's a great opportunity for academia. But first of all, it will really benefit the nation as a whole. We used to talk about multimodal transportation. Now time has come that yes, let's make it a reality and let's make it a part of curriculum. Let's make it a part of our research agenda. And we should appoint doctoral students in this field. And we must work with industry, with the government, and everybody should be working for the same cause. It's a great initiative, and congratulations to everybody present here, and particularly to Mr. Murthy, Secretary Higher Education, and Professor Tiwari. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Right. Professor Sahai, thank you so much for your intervention. I think the work that Professor Tiwari and Professor Punia have done, while they have prepared a draft curriculum on various 16, 17 topics, I am sure they would have included some practical training in which ensures that this platform is used as part of the training or the curriculum of that student. And if it is not there, Professor Sahai's suggestion should be immediately incorporated, and these practical modules on this platform should be invariably included. Having said that, I just want to reiterate what Honorable Prime Minister said the other day. You are talking about duplication of effort. Prime Minister to the Chief Secretary said, kindly work with the institutions in your state to see how they can add value to the work they are doing. So if we are able to, prepare ourselves looking at this platform, we can give our offerings to the state government to say that if you are looking at some logistic issue, if you are looking at some supplement issue or a planning issue, we can help you to some extent to this case, or we can do some case studies for you. So this is my request, that once you are sensitized to this platform, you will be able to work with the state governments also to see how you can handhold them. Having said that, there is one small NEP anniversary we are celebrating on the 29th of July next month. And I am sure that the Honorable Prime Minister also will share and spare his time with us that day. And it is our endeavor to see that if we are having consensus after today's meeting, we would like to make that statement in front of Honorable Prime Minister, mentioning that all our institutions are on board and are willing to work with the BISAG, are willing to work with the state governments to ensure that we create at least 75,000 trained professionals who will be well versed in this platform as well as the benefits that it will give. So this is one of the expectations also that we have from this workshop, that we have this commitment and support from all of you to take this forward and announce it on 29th July.
Yes, sir, if you allow me, I will take 1 minute.
Please.
This in 1998, we are organized one first ever international conference on supply chain management. And since then we are talking, but I feel so happy that government is taking initiative. And what you have said just now, I think that will be a game changer. I must tell you that. So that's a great initiative.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Sahai. Now I request, we have few more speakers, sir, if you permit, sir.
One intervention. May I?
Sir, please.
Please.
As the number is very large, 75,000, BISAG also having a facility to develop audio-visual animated content. So we can fix some studio content development facility, animation facility to certain virtual reality type things, that if that facility is utilized, I think we can reach to large number of people, and that facility we shall provide to all academic institutes depending upon the availability, but that will be available to you.
Thank you so much, TP Singh sir. So Professor Tiwari, I hope you will work out this such that we can develop this along with BISAG also. Huh?
Yes, thank you, sir, and I will go ahead with that. With your permission, sir, I request Director IIT Kharagpur, Professor Tiwari, because he is also having faculty selection. So, Professor Tiwari, if you can come and say, because you have all the disciplines in IIT Kharagpur, so we want to know your views, sir. Professor V.K. Tiwari, sir. But Dr. Rasekhar, I think you have joined, no? That is why you could talk. Anyway, sir, welcome, Dr. Ram. So I request Sridharanji to say a few words and ask some questions if you have any point to say. Also, Sridharanji.
Namaste. We NIT Connecticut thank the Ministry for taking this initiative to link the technical education institutions with the PM Gati Shakti. We are establishing a center of excellence in supply chain management to develop skills to meet the requirements at different levels for the PM Gati Shakti program. We actually have taken inputs from several people, including Professor Manoj Bhatwari sir, and as recently pointed out by Professor Deshmukh and Professor B.S. Sahar, we are introducing elective courses in our BTech and FTech programs, and we have expertise in 5 areas in the supply chain management, industry engineering management group, then transportation planning group, then construction engineering group, then planning group, that is in the architectural planning department, and then computer science in the machine learning. So we are establishing a center of excellence and arriving at programs to develop skills. And we have actually thought about the 3-level program in line with NEP's multiple entry and exit. Level B, we have certificate in supply chain and logistics management, which will have 20 credits. Minimum qualification will be a diploma or degree. Then level B, we will have a postgraduate diploma in supply chain and logistics management with entry qualification as graduation at level A, again with 20 credits. And level C, we have.
Professor Sridharan,
any comments?
Professor Sridharan, we appreciate that you might have these courses, but I'm saying while these courses are taught in the institution, our request is to see that the platform of BISAG on PM Gati Shakti is invariably put as part of the curriculum, such that the students are aware of this great initiative and to see how they can address problems, real problems, and work on practical solutions.
Yes, sir, definitely. As I thought, we see that curriculum research also at BTech, MTech, and PhD level. We will definitely take up projects in line with the PM Gati Shakti program. Definitely.
Thank you.
Dr. Rajasekhar? Sir, just 1 minute, sir, one more, sir, just 1 minute. Dr. Rajasekhar? Anyway, sir. Sir, I think whatever you have planned, and Professor Punya is there, I think.
Yeah. Professor Punya, can you just briefly tell us the work that you have done and what is our expectations from our colleagues?
Yes, sir. Namaskar, sir. First of all, I'll congratulate you the way this platform it has been developed under your leadership. It was amazing. I was not knowing, sir, this type of platform is available, which is optimizing the resources which is available in the country, and it will be a great use for even for we people also while we are developing our academic institutes also, forest or catchment areas or some high tension lines are there. So that will be useful in education also. While we were designing these 11 in fact areas of this model curriculum, sir, in Gati Shakti project, and where we wanted majority of the areas where teachers it has to be trained. That was our plan, in fact, the curriculum which was being developed. In that curriculum, theoretical part we have kept somewhere the industry connect also, but this type of technology which is available, this type of experiment which has been done on the ground itself, those case studies, certainly it has to be added into this one, sir. And large number of friends we are having for TPing this information every year. In engineering and technology, we are producing around 1 million engineering graduates in the country. That is very large in number. And if some exposure can be given to them of real world of work, certainly they'll be doing miracles. Sir, just one example I'm quoting, sir. At the time of Corona, state government of Kerala, they were having the type of problem for handling Corona in fact problem, where oxygen availability, the ambulance, the hospitals, the availability of doctors and all. Some young entrepreneurs, they reached to AIST, they approached to us, they wanted to find out some 30 talented students who can do this level of programming. Means artificial intelligence component, machine learning, high level programming also. We have done competition, sir, 43,000 students we have tested, and we could identify some 24 students. They have done wonderful job. We have given funding to those students also, internship. Now they have created one war room, sir. And city of Kochi, the district magistrate is having that war room. And from there, he was managing everything. Means even the shortage of oxygen, everything he was managing. Now they have done the next part, which they have done, sir. In whole country, there are some 700 districts. Out of 700 districts, in 200 districts, there were no ICUs were there. So what? And it is under the CSR, some 200 ICUs were developed. In fact, equipments it has been installed, but there were no doctors, no specialized doctors were there. So those 24 students, they have developed the mechanism of telemedicine, telepathy, and they are connected those 200 ICUs with the expert doctors which are available in the country, and those ICUs are not functioning where there is no expert doctors are available. So in these areas where we people are working, sir, all sort of infrastructure which is available, it may be hard, it may be soft, it has to be connected. My humble request to all the directors who are connected today, without teachers, we won't be able to do anything. We can design curriculum, we can identify students also, but till we won't be having trained teachers, we won't be able to implement. We are having a scheme, Atal Teachers Training Scheme, where we are giving funding, and after lot of else, in fact, some 10 proposals we have got. Manojji, your efforts are also needed. NIT Calicut is saying 5 areas they are having that specialization. So in all these 11 areas, if we can identify some experts who can train our teachers, and then only we'll be able to implement this one. It may be part of intensive for 6 months. It may be giving minor degree in the area of logistics. It may be your MTech thesis, complete thesis also, and even the PhD program also. But for that purpose, quality teachers we need. So please give some input to us so that we can give that funding, and the starting of teachers training can be so by next year, say end of this 2022, we can have this dream which we are having of 75,000 professionals in this area. That training will be possible, sir. Thank you very much. In that case also, our integration of our resources are very, very essential, particularly soft infrastructure in the form of teachers. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Punya sir. So I think we are running out of time. So I will thank all of you for having participated and look forward to your cooperation and support to see that the vision and the objectives of PM Gati Shakti are realized. I thank especially TP Singh Saab for having joined and given this presentation, and look forward to his continued support to all of us in realizing this objective of PM Gati Shakti such that it reaches all our education institutions. Thank you, everyone. Thank you once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Namaskar.
Thank you, Singh Saab, for coming to our platform and giving this detailed presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Diwali sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all.